here we go, right? It's been five weeks of fun, and this is kind of how we can close it out. Bittersweet a little bit here, right? I have had fun working with you. I'm glad you invited me, Aaron, to do this. And let's start. I just want to start here, right? The goal of these 6 weeks, these 6 sessions, was to get you ready and challenge you to do the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner. And so this is where you need to come to start. It talks about here joining the challenge. What's that challenge, Aaron?
So the challenge itself is for the Get Certified Cloud Practitioner Challenge, where we actually can get out there, and if you sign up for it, it might take some time to get the code, but sign up before September 30th. We'll give you a 50% off voucher while supplies last. And then we can also encourage you to get out there and learn. You can go and view the on-demand content, the on-demand episodes, previous episodes, not just from this series or this season. This is season 4. So what does that mean? There are 3 other seasons. There's a whole lot of content out there for you to learn and grow and expand. So get out there, join the challenge, put the certification, the exam, schedule it, get a date on your calendar, commit to that. If you don't meet it, you can move. You can reschedule that exam, not a problem at all.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we get to the tips. You have until December 14th once you sign up for the challenge, and then you give some time to receive your email with the discount code. You then have to take the test by December 14th, 2022. And so you can go in and actually, here is the challenge. And we can go ahead and you just sign up with your email and fill out all the form here, and then go ahead and click, and then you'll go ahead and start preparing. There's some great frequently asked questions down here at the bottom. One of them, right? How do you get that 50% off voucher? Make sure you go ahead and sign up. Looks like we have another one. Somebody saying they got their job. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. So let's kind of talk about the review. Again, where I think you should start, first of all, a couple of things for the exam. 6 months exposure to the cloud, going ahead and reviewing basic understanding of IT services, and then use cases, billing and pricing models, security concepts, and how the cloud impacts your business. 90 minutes, normally $100, but where you register for the challenge and you can get that 50% discount. And there are 65 questions on the exam. The exam guide is where you should start, I think, for a review section. And I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And how are we doing here in terms of... we started this. This has been way back 6 weeks ago. This is where we started. And you, again, should look what is in scope for the exam and what is out of scope. We're not going to have you do coding or designing or troubleshooting. Those are for other exams as you progress. And again, each exam is going to have a multiple choice with 1 correct response and 3 incorrect, and then 2 or more correct responses out of 5 or more. And then you'll go ahead and get your results. The results, of course, will be emailed to you, and it's 1 out of 1,000 with a passing score, that minimum passing score of 700. And so looking at the weightings here, again, here's how the exam's broken up in those domains: cloud concepts, security and compliance, the technology, and the billing and pricing. And I always like to say, with cloud concepts, again, things that we talked about before. What is the purpose of the cloud, Aaron? Things like security, right? We have that shared responsibility model. And looking at, right, what do you do? What does AWS do in terms of the cloud? Looking at pay-as-you-go pricing, right? The high availability, being able to go ahead and have redundancy. And then, of course, economy of scale. We've talked about that a little bit, but that comes from the cost. We just finished cost efficiency. Why is AWS able to give us discounts? Well, economy of scale. We're purchasing so much hardware. We're purchasing so much, networking, compute, all of that. Well, we can pass those savings on to you because we get those discounts. I think it's over 100 times we've lowered prices, Aaron.
Yeah, and
Over
AWS
100.
Config just reduced the prices by 58% recently too. So always improving and reducing prices and trying our best to remove some of the complexities from our customers at the lowest price possible. Let's go ahead and jump into a poll real quick at the same
Okay.
time. So I know we flipped over from episode 5 to episode 6, but I'm curious, how many episodes have each of you viewed and seen in real time? Go ahead and type your answer in the chat. A lot of people already right away typing in. So we have um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have you watched all 5? And or is this your first time here? If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have not seen any of our episodes, you can go watch them on demand at your own time. And if you think we talk too slow, you can even speed it up. If you think we talk too fast, you can slow it down. There's a whole lot of options there with on demand. I don't know if we can do that in real time. I can
I
slow
don't-
down, I can speed up. I can slow down, but I
And I can talk really fast, Aaron. Let me tell you a little bit about the Cloud Practitioner exam. We're going to go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead, right? We can
please
write
stop.
that. Yeah, that would
Stop.
drive people crazy. Um,
Yeah, and one
again,
person said they didn't know about the episode right before this one. That's because we missed last week due to some scheduling differences, and we had to go ahead and throw it right before this one. We had some opportunities and flexibility there. So the 5th session was just before this, but it will be available on demand. Okay, it's actually already available on Twitch, but we don't have it on the landing page yet. We will get it on the landing page for you. So for those of you who are here who have returned back to us, thank you for coming back. For those who are new and this is your first time, welcome. We appreciate you.
yeah, awesome. Yeah, and we've had a lot of people posting that they've passed already.
Yes,
Definitely makes me feel happy and good, and enjoying what we're doing. So we want to kind of continue on. Do you want to go back? We'll do a little bit more of this review, Aaron.
absolutely. Yes, please.
So again, just really using this page, using this exam guide is really going to help you understand what you need to know. And then for security and compliance, right? That shared responsibility model, the different security concepts of where you find compliance information. Remember when we talked about compliance last time? Can I go into an AWS data center? No. Well, how do I know that they're adhering to strict standards? Well, we have our audits that happen, and then we're based against different standards in the different countries where our regions are located, and you can go ahead and see that. Oh, okay, awesome. Since I passed last week, I bought the shirts from the shop that say AWS certified. Congratulations. Yes,
That's
that
awesome.
is another
Congrats.
thing. One of
That's a
the
perk. There's
that's a
perks of passing the yeah.
one of the other things too is you get a 50% discount on the next exam you take. So there's a code for that. I can't tell you how many customers I've had who were unaware of that. Oh, actually wearing the shirt today. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about again. I want to kind of jump in here and talk about resources too, Aaron. And that is this is our Twitch Power Hours page, but
So
there's
that
also
video at the
looking.
top is the most current on demand, but they're going to change that with the latest or episode 6
Yep.
once we are done today. So that's going to be updated. We're going to have the on demand content updated, and there's a whole lot more. What else is on the page?
Well, I think there's that you can take. There's a free Cloud Practitioner Essentials course that you can take, and it's on demand as well. you can go ahead and I highly suggest the exam readiness. How many people who passed the exam took the exam readiness? Do we know?
I don't know.
Anyone who did, can you tell us if you took that exam readiness? I think people are kind of okay.
They're nice.
Legendary took it. Nice. Okay. Well, and so let me tell you the difference. This take the course goes over and is the lecture with videos of the AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials, and it covers all of the topics. But the exam readiness, I love these. I'm going to be honest, Aaron, to everybody here, but I didn't pass one of my exams for AWS, and it was the SysOps. And what I found, two different things. Remember, we were talking in the last episode about impatience? I want to get through the darn thing. And remember, these things made us impatient, more impatient, instantaneous. Let's get through this. And I wasn't, and the exam readiness helped break down the questions, because it doesn't teach you the material. It looks at sample questions and then shows you what the key words are. And so I got into this rhythm with my next exams, where I read the question, I read all the answers, I read the question again, look for the key things, and then it helps me better to apply. Now, it's interesting. I had somebody, a student of mine, who said, Matt, I don't have time. If we have 90 minutes and 65 questions, how can I do that? I won't have time to read the question twice. And so we actually practiced, and and we timed it. And it was like, it takes you 25 seconds to read that question, read the answers, and you don't realize how much time you have. And so really taking that time, breaking down the question, looking at the answers, and realizing that you have a lot more time is very important. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. And we have one other person that says that they're going to take the exam in 2 weeks. I see that.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Good luck. Get it on the calendar if you don't have it already. Commit to it. And if you have to change the date, that's one of your exam tips. Commit to a
Yeah.
date, study for that target, and then reschedule if you really, really, really feel like you're not ready.
Yeah. I think that's crucial too, because if you don't schedule, then what? Life gets in the way, and then what? You won't take it. Yeah,
Yep.
you won't take it.
Just don't forget to reschedule, because that happened to me once where I was like, I want to commit to it. I got this. We got it. Don't worry. And then the day came and I thought I rescheduled, but I got distracted. Oh, that happens. I get distracted a lot. And I
You're
forgot, and I had to pay full price for the next one. That was not
okay.
fun.
Well, you're a busy man, Aaron. Yeah. And so again, back to what I'm showing on the screen. So I would highly recommend taking both of those, the Cloud Practitioner Essentials and the Exam Readiness. But then there are so many other, right? There are videos of us on here. There's a Technical Essentials course, which kind of dives a little deeper in if you want to know about certain technologies. We've looked at the exam guide. Use that as a blueprint. Use that as a roadmap. Think of that as your whatever utility you use to find yourself to get somewhere with maps. What do we do without these things? I
Got
remember going
lost
to
a lot.
I, I remember going to
A
customers
lot.
and having a map, and I got to get or getting a map, getting the rental car and saying, okay, how am I going to find my way to the customers? You talked about and you can kind of expand on this a little bit, that your Cloud Quest for Practitioner, Aaron, you had mentioned that you earned that badge.
Yeah, and that's actually a question in the chat. I saw that coming up. So, how does the Cloud Quest Practitioner compare? Is it still separate, or is it also a prep tool? I would say it's a prep. I did it. I learned some things, and it actually there's a challenge or an activity that walks you through launching an EC2 instance using Amazon S3. There's another challenge for deploying a website. There's another challenge for being able to use the pricing calc. Oh my gosh, I can't rave about CloudQuest enough. I should have worn my CloudQuest shirt today. But anyway, it's
Did
fun.
you want to jump off and go to wardrobe real quick?
Oh, can I do that? Yeah, thanks. Ta-da! It's the same
Ta-da.
shirt.
Okay.
Actually, I didn't change.
All right.
But honestly, it's really fun. There are 5 badges. I am completely dedicated to training and learning. So I have 3 out of the 5. I'm gonna go get the other 2, probably next week while I'm waiting in the airport for my plane because I have to go to Arizona for other
Oh,
training.
nice.
Anyway, there's one person that says, "Hey, let's see here." One person said they passed the cloud practitioner certification this morning, and
Congratulations.
I think they must have watched one of the previous episodes where you said my name wrong because they're calling you Dexter, not Matt. But that's
Well,
okay.
that's my nickname. Remember, that was my hockey nickname. So that came up in one of our
Right,
episodes.
right,
So
right.
that's a
They
callback. That's
were
awesome.
here. They were here and they paid attention. You know what? We are glad you are here. We are glad you were successful, and we're glad that you passed. Let us
A-
know what your favorite part of the certification was in the chat as well. Curious.
Adam and Dexter are really happy for you.
Gosh,
All right,
stop it.
sorry. You
Stop
won't know how I haven't been able to live down calling them the wrong name. But I really
it.
think that you, and one of the other things I think this is a great resource, Aaron, and I think it's great we talk about scheduling a day, but then to take your exam. But I also think you need to define how many hours you're going to spend per day. Break it down. This is not an exam you should cram. This is
Mm-mm.
not I'm going to stay up in a whole night before and I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. You we tend not to do well doing that. I know I did that a lot in college, but I don't recommend it now. Question, is CloudCrest free?
I'm going to piggyback. Someone else already provided the answer, so you know what? We are here to learn as a community. We've grown and driven this into like a community event. So it's not just us answering questions; it's the community answering questions. But the question is CloudQuest free? There's the CloudQuest Cloud Practitioner Challenge. That one is free, but the other 4 badges, machine learning, serverless, what else do we have? Networking and so forth. Those are not free. Those you have to have the Cloud Quest, or rather the Skill Builder subscriptions, and then you can go for those other badges. Really fun, really engaging. But at minimum, if you're studying for your Cloud Practitioner certification, go on Cloud Quest, play the game, learn some things, and let us know how you do. Also, one other person said they did do that and they got their cloud practitioner badge. So congrats. It's really fun.
Awesome. Awesome. One of the other things too, and this comes from me being an anxious person, and especially in the tests. And so you can take the test at a testing center. You can take the test at home. Those are your options. If it's at home, you can't have any other electronic things. So you have to kind of clear off the table or desk of where you're working. You can't have anyone come in during. So you got to make sure that the door is closed and they keep your mic on and your video, and you're able to do it. I found that's great. Living in the mountains, I don't have to go ahead and drive. But I think that one of the other things that I've found is, and that I've gotten asked, it's interesting. Our fire department's taken the hazmat test on Monday. So the hazardous materials test. And I got asked to come in and teach how to for the hazardous materials test. I passed it last year. And so it applies no matter what exam you're taking. And so you can go ahead and you want to, what I do is I do 5 questions, and then I actually close my eyes in the test and I take a few moments and breathe and just focus on my breath. And then I take another, because it's daunting to have 65 questions in front of you. and you can get really anxious. I knew someone that I used to work with who had fainted a couple of times in certification exams. She would get so worked up. It says, "Sorry, I work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m." They're testing. I know the online testing, they can have it all kinds of times. I know one person that was a new mother that I worked with here at AWS, and so she would put the baby to bed and then take the test at 10 at night. So
Yeah, so it depends. Like what time is available? Are you going to go in person or are you going to do it at the comfort of your own home? If you're going in person, you have the boundary of the open hours for that testing center. But if you do it at the comfort of your own home, there's some trade-offs there where you have to really make sure that your entire desk is clear and clutter-free. You can't have other electronics. Like I have two lights. I have a monitor here, a monitor here. I have a monitor here, a monitor here, and my Echo Show device. So I have to unplug all of that if I take it at my test or at my desk here in my office. I take it from home, typically for me, and I go down to my table. But you have to make sure there's like no coasters and no paper because you have to have a completely clear and clutter-free environment. They want to make sure you're not cheating. So because you're
yeah.
doing it at home, you have more flexibility with your time. And I'm getting back to the answer here. So with time, you can schedule it at 10 o'clock at night after you put your kids to sleep if you have kids. You can do it in the middle of the night if you decide that that's what works best for you. If your house is super quiet, that's also important because you want to make sure no one walks into your testing area because that can also create some concerns with the proctor who is helping you to make sure that you're doing it the right way.
Also, when you finish the exam, uh, make sure you'll get, there are some questions at the end in terms of some survey questions. Fill those out as well, and then close up the exam appropriately, because I didn't fill those out once. I actually was like, I'm done with the exam, and I got up and I came back, and the proctor was like, "Where'd you go?" And I was like, "Well, I'm done with the exam. There's just some survey questions. How long have you been in the industry? How long, and he was like, "You're not supposed to do that." Thankfully, he realized whatever he checked, I had finished the exam. But yeah, you don't want, because that could have caused a lot of grief and a lot of headache for me. Yeah. Make sure you press the send when you finish the exam. Yes,
Yeah, actually
please.
end the exam because otherwise it's still going.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Good tip. I know one person um, who took their phone out to take a picture of the UPass screen, um,
Ooh,
and they got penalized for that. So don't take your phone out. Please
no,
don't. Yeah.
no,
Keep your
not at
phone in a
all.
place where you can't reach it. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
one of the other things I like to stress too, Aaron, is in life or in school, we get a lesson and then we get the test. And in life, we get, normally a lot of times we get the lesson and then we get the test first, then we get the lesson. And so if you do not pass, it's not the end. I remember 20 some years ago taking one of my first certification exams, and I thought I'd graduated college and I knew what I was doing, and then I failed that test, and I thought, oh my gosh, my career's over. And it's not. I looked at how I prepared. I know I hadn't prepared appropriately. I looked at how I looked and took time during a test and answered questions and all that, and those are things that I've modified. And once you figure that out, then you can take all the other certification exams you want. You studied for the cloud practitioner. We have people talking about they're getting ready to study for the solutions architect. Yeah, apply the same formula, the same method that you used, and you'll be successful.
Yeah, we have a question in the chat of how many weeks does it take to study and prepare for the exam? Is it 4 weeks? And I would say no. It really, so Thomas actually answered it as well, but I would say it depends on your experience. Now, Matt, if you can bring up the exam guide for us for a second here, and while you're doing that, let me go ahead and also kind of point to what are some of the best resources, because it comes back to like how do you prepare and you get the right resources. So let's do this. Throw it in the chat. What is the best place to get information on the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam? Um, and see if this is true or false. Is it the AWS Training and Certification website? Matt's going to bring up some information here around the exam guide, which is going to show us some details. And he already brought it up before, but let's take a look at this and see. Is it true? Is this the best place? Is the AWS and Training Certification website the best place to get information about the exam? A lot of people are saying true, 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 true. And let's pull us up. The answer is true. Okay, Matt, can you bring up that exam guide and show us what's in it?
Yeah, I think again, one of the things to be important here is to realize these are the domains. It's pretty spread out evenly, but with domain 3 being the technology. And one of the things that I would say is go through and walk through this outline. And you could print it out and make notes. Do you understand what the value proposition is for the cloud and what you're going to do? If you're unsure, then it's a simple internet search. Because we have so much documentation out there. You can go ahead and look. I can scroll down and just do an example here. I could come in and let's describe the relationships between AWS regions, availability zones, and edge locations. Oh, okay. Oh,
And can you make that a little bit larger for me while you're there? Just because it's a little hard for my eyes. I'm sure it might be hard for some people.
all right. There we go. How's that?
Perfect. Yes. Thank you.
So, all right. I did AWS and then regions and availability zones. And look, right here. Now what? Okay. Go ahead and open that. And here is everything I need to know. I can click and scroll down through and see the difference. This hasn't loaded yet. There we go. All right. Okay, not fully loaded. That's Matt. That's that impatience again, Aaron.
Always
So
impatient.
again,
We are
I
trained ourselves to become impatient. That's it.
yep. And so I can go ahead and read here, regions, availability zones, different services. I can go through and spend time reading that. And so use this as a guide. We're telling you what kind of topics are going to be on the exam. Use this for searching. And then it says, well, here are some identified different storage services. Well,
I don't know. How's the text for everyone? Let us know if it's too small or just fine in the chat. For those who say too small, let's see if we can get that text a little bit bigger because it's kind of tiny for me. I'm looking at it from even a corporate laptop, and it's not that small either.
how's
Maybe
that?
you can zoom in a bit for everyone. Yes, perfect. All right,
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. So again, uh, what's Amazon S3?
Are you asking me? Not sure if that's a
Well,
question for
no, I'm
me or
not.
for anyone. Okay.
No. Here's what I need to know. Here's a cloud object storage. Again, you can go through and review that. It's amazing. And you can't know everything, right? And so you can go ahead and learn from this. How many times, Aaron, in a class, do you get a question and you're not sure, and then you go ahead and say, well, I'll get back to you. Let me do some research, and then you do a search and you're able to find it. Amazon has a vast array of documentation that you can use. Take advantage of that. And it's the source of truth, right? Read look, we got up here AWS. Come from AWS. You notice that I had other options when I went to do the search. I always click on the AWS because maybe someone's explained it differently. But when it's, of course, coming straight from AWS, you know it's the source of truth. You know that you can trust that, and you can use that to go ahead and
You know
help
what I
you.
do? I
But
actually will take site colon, I just put it in the chat. I'll take site colon aws.amazon.com and then I type my search. So if you do that in your browser, what'll end up happening is it'll only pull up results that are from aws.amazon.com. Is that your pager? Everything okay going over there?
yeah, sorry.
I know you're
Uh,
on-call firefighter, so do you get to leave us right now?
no, no, I don't. But there's a couple of fire
Okay.
alarms going off.
Well, I hope everyone
Sorry.
is okay out there.
Yes, I hope so too. Not in my. It's not in my area. So let me.
So what I do is, and I'll get this over here. All right, S3. Okay, so what I do is I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna make it a little bit larger for everyone to hopefully see it. But I'm looking for site colon aws.amazon.com, and I'm specifically looking for Amazon S3. If I just take out Amazon and do S3, what'll happen is this search, because Matt was hinting at it, this search specifically will only pull up results directly from aws.amazon.com. It might be docs, it might be something different, but it's only going to pull up the official AWS documentation, which is the most accurate and up to date. There's third party documentation out there, but we don't manage that. So we cannot speak to how valid it is. If you find some that's helpful, wonderful. That get out there and learn. But if you want to read official documentation, this is your best tip.
And one of the things too is, as you dive in and as your career progresses, there are blogs, there are a whole host of different examples for different services. So we have the documentation, but then also don't forget to go, and we have a YouTube channel besides this Twitch channel. AWS has a whole bunch of videos that you can watch on different subjects. Again, 10-minute to an hour-long video, or depending upon what that particular subject is. So take advantage of that.
And we have a question around, are workshops necessary for the exam? So, workshops will probably give you some hands on experience. They will give you an opportunity to validate your skills before you sit for the exam, but necessary? No. One thing that I would say is all of our exams recommend a certain number of years or months. The cloud practitioner certification does recommend at least 6 months of hands on using AWS services and technology. The SA associate 1 year, SA professional 2 years, and so forth. So, is it necessary? No. Are they out there? Yeah. And you can go to, there's a few other websites. Let me see here. So, workshops.aws. I'll drop that link in the chat, and that'll give you some really, really good hands on experience. But be aware that when you run workshops.aws, they're going to be in your own account and there might be some cost associated to that. So get out there, explore, play around, learn, grow, develop, and continue cycling that whole wheel around.
Yep.
All right, we have one more
What?
poll question. Let's see if we can get this up here. How many questions are on the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam? Type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat. Is it 50, 55, 60, or 65? See, one person says 3. So type 1, 2, 3, or 4. Don't type 65 or else the poll won't know about it. 1, 2, 3, or 4. I see one person said 65, another person said 65, a third person saying 65. I I'm picking up what you're putting down, but the bar won't tick up if you type 65. You have to type 4. I see a lot of people typing 4, 4, 4. I see some first time chatters here also typing 4. Thanks for being here. If this is your first time, welcome. Right now, we are talking about the AWS Power Hour for Cloud Practitioner. It's the review, and also we're covering the exam guide. So let's go ahead and see how many questions are on the exam. 65. Look at that. Wonderful. Awesome. Great job, everyone who said 4. And if you learned something new, wonderful as well. Matt, what's next?
I think it really we can open it up to questions. We've kind of talked a little bit about how they can prepare for the exam. We talked about how they can get the 50% discount. Have they registered for that? I think that should be the homework.
Oh, yeah. So let's go ahead and bring that up. So, homework, first thing, complete the survey. We're going to go ahead and drop that survey link in the chat one more time just to make sure that you have it. Let me see if I can get it here. Okay. Do. I have a link to it, but I actually lost it.
Yeah.
Shame on me. Shame on me, isn't it? All right. And there is a link. Please go out and complete that survey. That's your number one homework right now. And then the secondary homework is to sign up for the Get AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Certification Challenge. And then post that you joined the challenge on LinkedIn. Make sure to use the hashtag AWS Power Hour. Tag me, Aaron S. Hunter. Tag Matt, MHFA. So much better than that first episode, Matt. I got to tell you, I'm going to bring that back again. But tag us and let us know that you have joined the challenge. It might take a little while for you to get that certification discount code, and when it does come, sign up for the challenge, but join it before September 30th. Okay, and then you have until December 14th to take that exam.
Yeah, that's and those two dates are important. Sign up. All right, it's the 16th of September today. You've got
Yes,
14 days, 2 weeks to register, and then you have the ability to take the exam using that discount code by December 14th of 2022.
yes, absolutely. All right. Let me go ahead and remove that and get one more thing up here. I think we have. Give me a second. All right. So we also have this right here. It's one more poll question. There's only one option. So this is a hint. How much does the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam cost? Is it $100 unless you register for the Cloud Practitioner Certification Challenge by September 30th? Type your response option in the chat. There's only one option. Type your response option in the chat. Oh my gosh, I feel like this one's not really. There's no way out of that one.
No, although we did get someone, some people are having fun typing other numbers. So
Are they? Oh no, I don't see that in the chat though. I don't see it in the
you
poll.
can't see it
Oh,
now.
bummer. Oh, bummer. Too bad for them.
And somebody asked a question in the chat: how do I get 50% discount vouchers in the future? And like I said, when you pass an AWS exam, AWS actually gives you a code in your training and certification account. And maybe we can post where they can go for their training and certification account if they haven't created one already. And that's just aws.training. That is the URL for it, aws.training. Again,
Yep.
that keeps all of your training information, whether you take classes, your transcript, your keeps track of uh, your your exams as well as any perks. And I think we had someone talking about being getting ordering shirts.
And they're wearing the shirt today.
And
Yeah,
they're wearing the shirt
absolutely.
today. And so that is a great thing. Thanks, Thomas.
All
And
right.
then and there are all kinds of different things as you bring your career. You can sign up to be and help AWS with become a SME, and so you can go ahead and provide feedback for AWS. Somebody said, "I want AWS swag." Yes, we all do.
We all do.
Yes.
All right, let's see here. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Bought two of them and the notebook. Hashtag swag. No, hashtag AWS Power Hour. Come on, we just talked about that. All right, one more. Let's go ahead and pull that up here on the screen. We have a few more polls for you. Just really want to make sure that we're stressing where you can go, what you do, and so forth. So another poll time. Who can receive a 50% discount on the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam if they register by September 30th? Is it anyone? Is it only people who like to wear hats? Only people wearing orange? Only people who do the homework? I mean, hopefully you do the homework. If you don't do the homework, it's okay. You're still eligible. So I know some people are saying like only four. It's not. That's not. It's not true. One person said one, two, three, and four. They think everyone. I mean, that's
Yeah,
technically true. So
that
it
is
is one,
technically
two.
true.
Yeah, technically it is true. Um, but the actual answer is anyone. So anyone can do this, right? So go through, register, sign up, join the challenge. That's part of your homework. It is part of your homework to complete a survey and then sign up for the challenge itself. If you missed a link for the survey, it's in the chat again. Please go out and do it. Really do appreciate it. Um, let's see here. I think we have one more poll. We're going to wrap up the poll before we move officially over to our Q&A session. Where can you find out what topics are covered on the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam? Internet message boards, social media, the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam guide. That seems very official. It's a very long answer too. Or maybe the
Yes,
library. Everyone's saying three, 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 three. Hey Matt, I feel like you taught people things today.
I
This
hope
is a
so.
testament. This is a testament that you taught people things today, Matt.
I'm excited to hear. I was excited to hear about so many people who have already passed, and I'm excited to hear going forward, particularly on LinkedIn, since we shared our information, contact information for people to let us know that they passed. To let
Yes.
us know they registered for the challenge. Here's with the challenge. We can. Thomas just put that in the chat again, so that's
He
great.
he he beat me. He was saying he
Yes, he
was
did.
slow with the chat earlier, but he isn't slow with the chat. You know what? He beat me, so it's okay. Anyway, so 3 is the correct answer here. You can go find more information on the exam guide, and that's it. That's our last question. So do the survey. There's a link in the chat. Sign up for the challenge. Post on LinkedIn that you've joined the challenge. Use the hashtag AWS Power Hour. Tag myself and Matt. Let's transition over to our Q&A section here.
Okay.
All right. If you have questions, type them in the chat. Let us know. We do have a few here that we'll bring back up. So what's the main difference between savings plans and reserved instances? Both have 1 or 3-year terms. The number one difference is flexibility.
Yeah.
So flexibility and also the max amount of savings that you can have. One has a max of 66%, one has a max of 72%. Savings plans 66, reserved instances up to 72. With savings plans, because they're so flexible, you can move them across more instance types and families across different accounts as well, as long as you're within organizations. So you can do that too.
Good description there, Aaron.
Next question. What is exam readiness? Matt, you brought up exam readiness. Do you want to cover what that is and
Sure.
maybe where they can go?
Yeah, it's located out on Skill Builder, and it is a short and what I would say it's an hour and a half long. And what it does is it breaks down the topics for the exam, but it breaks down sample questions. And so, what does that mean? It says it if, and I'm going to go ahead real quickly here and just add to the stream. It basically goes through the domains, but it doesn't cover. Let me scroll up here. Here are the domains. It goes through the domains, but it doesn't. It's not reteaching you. It's saying here are some examples of questions for cloud concepts, and then it goes through and breaks down those questions. How would you look for the right answer when you're going ahead and do that? And so it's a great way to understand to break down questions. I take them for every exam I take. We have them, and I think it's just a very beneficial one. In fact, was part of one on Monday delivering one that we had. So it's again, it's a different mindset. Now you're challenging yourself to look at questions and break them down and get the right answer.
That's awesome. So exam readiness isn't just about taking that class that we have that helps you read some sample questions and what they look like and what they don't look like and some response options and the stem of the question. But it's also a matter of understanding the exam guide and what might be in service and what might be in scope and out of scope. So
Yeah.
that's really exam readiness. Now, when you're scheduling the exam, one person said that they work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and what might be available for the test. We answered it earlier, but I'll answer it one more time for anyone who's new. And if you're new, welcome. We appreciate you. Love having you here. This is the AWS Power Hour Cloud Practitioner series, our final episode of a six-part series. My name's Aaron Hunter, and my buddy Matt Heffernan is down there hanging out with us today and answering all your questions. So the question here is around scheduling and what time might be available. There's two options to schedule. One is at a test center in person with an in-person proctor and other people maybe around you, but you're going to be bound to the test center hours. If you take the test from home, which you can do also, you have hours pretty much at all times a day. But the online proctors, they have some flexibility. So if you want to test at 10 p.m. after you put your kids to sleep, Matt used that example earlier. One person said, "Yeah, get my toddlers and dogs out of here." So you can take a test when it's quieter in your house. If you work maybe the evening shift, and if you work overnight, you can take a test in the morning if you want to. I prefer to take my tests typically during the day when my wife is at work and my kids are at school. Very quiet, unless my cat tends to scream and cry when I'm not paying attention to him. But that's a whole different thing. I'll worry about that. You don't worry about that. Figure out what times work best works best for you. But that's when you can take the test usually. Next question here is CloudQuest free?
Mm.
Hmm. So
You've taken it,
CloudQuest
Aaron.
I have, yeah. So CloudQuest in itself is part of Skill Builder, and there's the CloudQuest Cloud Practitioner section of CloudQuest. That's one of the roles, and if you go out and do that, you can get a badge once you complete all the challenges and claim the award. But it is free for the CloudQuest Cloud Practitioner specifically. There's 5 badges in total, and only the Cloud Practitioner badge is considered free. However, get out there and sign up for the Skill Builder subscriptions. Take a challenge across the different roles. Earn all 5 badges. Wonderful. I'm actually addicted. I'm going to go out. I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to learning. Absolutely, without a doubt. But I'm going to get out there and I'm going to get the other 2 badges probably next week while I'm sitting in an airport. So, yes, CloudQuest is free for the Cloud Practitioner badge. Do you want to take this one, Matt?
uh, I think what you need to do is dedicate the time. It says how much time can to pass once you get the discount and the exam. To take the exam, it takes a couple of weeks to get the discount, that voucher. That's what we've kind of found out. So just and then set your schedule. So while you're waiting for your discount, be studying. Set an hour aside per day or 2 hours or whatever works for your schedule.
Yeah, so once you do get that exam code, let's say you sign up for it, give it a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. I've seen some people report up to that amount of time. And then after you receive that exam code, you have up until December 14th to take your exam. All of this is mentioned in the page right here. So I will drop this link in the chat. Let me make sure I can get the chat up and running. There we go. Perfect. So go ahead and go down all the way to the FAQ section of the page. A link is in the chat, and read the questions here. Um, one person said they saw I got a couple CloudQuest badges on LinkedIn. Congrats! Thank you, thank you. Hopefully, gonna get 2 more next week. We'll see. Challenge me. You challenge me now. I will accept that challenge. So, how do you get the 50% off exam voucher? That question is answered here. Who can participate? Anyone who registers for the Cloud Practitioner certification before September 30th, 2022. You can see that right here. We also have Do you have to follow all training? No, you don't. It's recommended to help you, but it's optional. You don't have to complete all training. So if you already have the hands-on experience and knowledge, congratulations, get out there and take the challenge. Do we want to do we want to have you as part of our viewers? Yes, I would love that. Share it, share the love. And then partners, costs associated. So there's no cost to sign up or participate in the training and preparation sessions. That's including the videos here live today and on demand. So that's another option here. And then what are the dates? So right here, registration will be open from July 25th to September 30th. So sign up before September 30th and then pass the certification before December 14th.
Yep.
There you go. All right, next question here. Do I pay more if I use a lot of CPU in reserved instance plans? No, you don't, because there's the bounds for how much CPU you have is based on the instance type and size that you have allocated. That's going to be part of reserved instances, but how much of that you use does not impact your spend or your bill. There's one thing to keep in mind. Going away from the question for a second here is with a, let's say, a T class instance, a T2 or a T3, these are considered CPU burstable, and you have what's known as CPU burst credits or CPU credits. And when you exhaust those credits, you may need to either add more instances based on the capacity change, or so that's scaling horizontally, or you might have to scale vertically and make it a larger instance, which gives you more CPU. But to answer your question, no. The CPU consumption does not impact your reserved instance spend because that's all based on the instance type and size as part of the reserved instance that you've signed up for. All right. Let's see. Those are all the questions that I have starred. Let me go ahead and see if
Okay.
there's any others. Do any stand out to you, Matt?
Uh, there is a question. Is there a difference between badges earned from CloudQuest and badges earned by passing the exam? That's one of the recent.
Ooh. Do you want to bring that one up on screen?
Uh,
There we
there you
go.
go. All right.
So the badge earned from CloudQuest and the badge earned from passing the exam, they're both stored in your Credly account, and then you can share those out. But in terms of the differences, it really has to do with where you earned that badge. So if you earned the badge from CloudQuest, that still validates skills. It still says like, "Hey, I went out there and I did this thing." Definitely be proud of that. I know every time I get a badge, I am. One person said that they saw that I got, let's see, right here. So share it on LinkedIn and share it with your friends and family and colleagues and peers and be proud of it. It really is an accomplishment. The badges from earning a certification, they're still in Credly, but sitting the exam, taking the test, and so forth, that's really validating your skills because you are testing at a testing center or in your own site, your own house. So get out there and do it. Passing an exam is to me like a whole new level of sometimes stress. I am not a good test taker. I'm going to just be honest, and it's really validating when I pass it, and I hope each of you do. I think there were like 4 or 5 people today where they said they passed it already.
Yep. And I think the point here too, get practical hands in the hands-on skills in the CloudQuest. That's what you're showing there. And so you're
Yes.
showing you're able to share your Credly account and show what skill sets you have to prospective employers or to your current employer.
Absolutely. It validates the skills to you and them at the same time. One person said, let me see if I can pull it up. One person said the cloud storage badges are difficult. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, they're testing you in different ways. So actually, if you wanted to like expand your knowledge, you can go out and try to get the cloud storage badges. There's I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 badges there, and then you get like the core badge for storage, and get a second badge for like migrations and stuff too. Going down right here. After passing the cloud practitioner exam, what should be the next one?
Hmm.
I don't think we can answer that one.
It's really, where do you want to take your career? What interests you? I always call them swim lanes, right? We have the solutions architect associate, the developer associate, and the sysops associate are three of the exams. But I also know people who've passed the cloud practitioner and said, I'm a networking person, I'm going to go take the networking specialty because I have all this years of networking. I just wanted to understand the cloud with cloud practitioner, and then take something where their expertise is. So boy, yeah, there's a lot of different things there's a lot of different ways you can go. I think you need to
Yeah.
think about what's best for you and explore the certification website.
Yeah, so one
Ex-
person said like, what are the associate certification should I do if I'm a backend developer? Probably the developer associate maybe. So
Mhm.
Thomas says go developer associate. But going back to like what might be the right next step, a lot of people in the chat are actually commenting that maybe the architecting or the architecting associate one might be a good option too. So how much experience do you have? Where do you want to learn? Do you want to, try to catch them all?
Yeah. I,
And
I wanted to pull go no, I wanted to pull this one up, and it says which one is for cybersecurity. And so I want to stress two things here. One, every one of our certifications covers security. Covers some aspect of security. It's built in, but we then also do have a specialty security one. So important.
yeah, the security specialty is top priority. So security itself is top priority for AWS and probably every customer that we have. So getting out there and understanding a deeper knowledge of IAM policies and principles and roles and so forth, and being able to assume roles and make calls and actions, and securing Amazon S3 buckets and using key management service. But that is way outside of cloud practitioner. So continue growing and stacking your knowledge and expanding what you have. Start with cloud practitioner, maybe start adding some of the associates, then go into security specialty, grow and build and so forth. I see someone said Someone said this. So legendary AP says at job interviews, I tell them I've had lots of practical hands-on experience thanks to CloudQuest, and I even have a pet gorilla. Because if you didn't know, within CloudQuest, you walk around the city, the virtual city, and you answer questions. The animals will ask you questions, and then you can answer them. When you answer it correctly, then you get points, and each animal has a certain number of points before it's considered your pet. So you can have a pet gorilla. The only one that you actually cannot have as a pet is the giraffe. And why? Well, the what is it? What? Drawing a blank here.
Okay.
Not the logo. It's the mascot. So the giraffe is the mascot, and the giraffe's name is Claudia, Claudia. So congrats,
Cute.
hands-on experience. Um, Let's see here. Any other questions? Which one's cybersecurity, security specialty, more related to security services? Ooh, here's one. How many instances can be configured in free tier?
Ah.
Ah, so the free tier doesn't say how many instances, but it has to do with the number of running hours you have for your instances. It's 750 hours
Mhm.
when you're using a specific EC2 instance type and size. You have T2 micro and T3 micro. There's T2 micro, that's free. And if that instance type and size is available in the region, use that one because T3 micro is not considered free at that point. If you have a T3 micro because T2 is not available, use T3 micro. That is considered in the free tier. It's free tier eligible, but up to 750 hours per month for the first 12 months. So be aware of that, and we'll make sure that looks like Brian already added a link in the chat. Thank you, Brian. So click the link in the chat that Brian provided. That will walk you through what is considered free and what is considered something that's a payable model. So
Excellent question and very good distinction there, Aaron.
there's another question around how other certifications might work together. We can't answer that because we have different certifications. One thing that I can say is if you're using AWS certifications, and if you're using AWS, well, specifically, if you're using AWS services, then you can go out and get the certifications and validate your skills. If your organization is using another provider, another third party provider, for example, it may validate you additionally to get out there and get those certifications, but have that conversation with your leadership team. But they might go hand in hand. It depends on how much you're using each service. Do, 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 do. What's next for Power Hour Twitch series? Ooh, well, you can go here. You can go to our AWS training certification page, and you can see that we have Power Hour Architecting coming up. This is under the live shows. It's starting on, let's actually go ahead and load the page. It is starting on Tuesday, September 27th. So about a week and a half from now, if I have my, no, that's like 10 days. Yeah, 10 days from now, about a week and a half. So jump in, join my buddy Trevor. I might pop in and do, it's not planned. I might do it anyway. I might just jump in and say, "What's up, everyone?" And just because I miss y'all. But join the challenge for Cloud Practitioner. Um, Sign up for alerts around AWS Power Hour architecting, where we cover the differences between the SAA C02, the previous exam, and review SAA C03, the latest and active exam, the option that you have for architecting associate. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Uh, one person said, "Wait, my buddy Trevor is doing it, dude. I didn't know that." Yeah, yeah, he's doing it. That's for sure. We have a couple other guests as well. Trevor's going to announce them for each episode, and we'll see if I end up becoming a guest on that as well. And he did just pass his professional as well. So
Oh,
congrats to him.
awesome. Congratulations.
Cool. All right, everyone. One last time, your homework for the series is to complete the survey. We will drop that link in the chat one more time for each of you. Let me go ahead and grab it, copy the link, go back over to the chat, drop that link in the chat. That's your first section of the homework. Your second section is to sign up for the Get AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Challenge. Post on LinkedIn that you've joined the challenge. You know what? I'm going to throw a third option out there. Once you pass the Cloud Practitioner certification, let us know as well. Use the same hashtag AWS Power Hour. Tag me, Aaron S. Hunter. Tag Matt, MH Hefe. You can also use my alias for Twitch. You can also use my alias for Twitter as well. It's all there. And Matt, it's been a pleasure working with you for the past 6 weeks. You did a
Thanks,
great
Aaron.
job, buddy.
Yeah,
Everyone,
thank you very much. This was fun.
tell Matt he did a great job, please. He really did. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining. Looking forward to seeing your success, celebrating with you, and looking forward to your continued learning over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and so forth.
Yeah,
That's it.
throughout your career journey.
Throughout your career journey. Take care.
Thank you.